Almost 2 years ago, in February 2018, my 13-year-old son, Richard, died in an accident at our home. And last year was our first Christmas without him. My husband and I and our son Liam didn't know how we were going to face the holiday. We knew it was going to be very painful and sorrowful. And so with all the Christmas decorations, the lights, the special events of the season that we used to find so joyful, we were finding just so much sorrow and pain in it. It was like salt being poured into a wound. And I knew that I had to find a way to get our family through the season. So I did some research and I found Blue Christmas service. And I knew this was going to be an important part of our grief journey. We attend the Harbor Church in Kingston, Rhode Island. So I approached our pastor about hosting a Blue Christmas service at our church, and he graciously said yes. It was a quiet, beautiful service. It gave us time to reflect on our loss. We lit a candle in memory of our son. We said some words to acknowledge our loss. And it was really wonderful being with other people who were grieving losses as well. And it wasn't just the loss of loved ones, but also the loss of marriages and jobs, homes. And it was interesting to note that this is not always a joyful time of year for people. There's a lot of sorrow in it. So to be together with others and sharing their grief and their burdens was comforting. And it was a blessing to our family, and I hope that it's a blessing for others this year. Yes, there were several people who talked about losing loved ones. And I know there were people who had just recently lost jobs or businesses and who came to acknowledge that. And I think lighting a candle for men, they were lighting candles not just for the loss of loved ones, but for the loss of other things as well, other important things in their lives. Working at grief and doing things like the Blue Christmas, it was an important part of our just beginning our healing journey to stand up publicly and be able to say that we're hurt and we feel sorrow, and that Christmas time isn't all joy. And it's not, when we see the festivities, while we understand the joy of it because that's how we used to feel, there's a lot of sorrow in that. People were listening and acknowledging that pain. And it wasn't, you have to be cheerful, you have to be joyful. It was a time and a place where we could be quiet and reflective and acknowledge our pain.